Hello my fellow ant keepers. My name's James. A lot of you probably already know that from this channel, but today is a new day and I embark on a new adventure. I'm going to be telling you about my Camponotus Ligniperda and Queen and her colony, which is really small at the moment, but I'm just going to tell you about it, what my plans are for her and her colony, and how to look after them here in the UK. That's what I'm going to cover going forward, because especially in Northern Ireland anyway, I've never seen any videos of our climate looking after these type of ants, and a lot of people recommend don't take ants from like foreign places into your area, but the colony that I have is native to Europe. And well, Brexit and all, but we're kind of part of Europe, that sort of climate anyway, so they can live here and they can survive here, and that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna show you how I look after them and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I'm just gonna talk about them. Here they are, in their prime, in their little test tube. Ignore this awful background, by the way, I should probably clean it up, but they came in this little box right here. It had a test tube, sellotaped to here, wrapped in bubble wrap. And yeah, that's how they got to me. They were posted to me. They came within like 3 days from Best Ants UK, shout out. Very good, very fast, and guaranteed queen live on arrival, which is exactly what happened. And the workers were alive as well, which they didn't guarantee, but very happy with that. And she had some eggs laid, which was awesome. But yeah, so the ants arrived in this little small test tube. When the ants first came in the box, it came with a note saying, please leave the ants in a dark place, untouched for 4 to 5 days due to delivery stress. I left them for 4 to 5 days. I put them away in a wee cove in the dark, and I wrapped the tube in tin foil, maybe keep some heat in there, which, you know, they probably will thrive with, and didn't touch them. And today is the day where I get to take them out, and I just want to check on them. And I did, and they all look good. They look well, the eggs are good, the queen's good. She's very slow, but I'm not imagining she's gonna do much. Like, there's not really anywhere for her to go. And the other wee workers are just pottering around her anyway. The plan is now to move them from this small test tube into my makeshift large test tube, which, as you've already seen, looks kind of like this. It's basically one test tube and then another test tube, which I cut off the bottom. It's kind of rounded. I cut off this wee section and then stuck the other tube onto there and sellotaped it, just so they have a bit more room, which they might not use, but I just thought it would give them the option. They're currently sitting right beside me, still haven't moved yet. They've explored the new nest, but they haven't moved yet. But yeah, this makeshift test tube is going to be their new nest, and I need to move them into it. So to do that, I've watched a lot of tutorials on how you can get them to do that, and basically what you have to do is get it set up, water, cotton wool bud to absorb the water which they can drink from, space for their nest, and then I've actually put a wee bit of greaseproof paper and a bit of honey on it for them to eat food, their first meal. It's the first meal they've had, and as soon as I put it in, they eat it. And then the end of the tube, I'm just going to put some cotton wool in there so air gets in naturally. So that's the plan. That's what their nest is made up of. Get them to move is another thing. So again, researched a lot on how to do it. Basically, I have my tube open on this end, just lying flat along the table, as you can see. What I'm going to do is take their little small test tube, take the cotton wool out, and just plonk that onto the end and wrap it in sellotape. Oh, I'm nervous, let's do this. Now don't make a run for it, lads, or I'm in trouble. No way. Don't drown, there's honey there, don't get stuck. Oh my word, he freaked out, this guy's freaking out. I haven't got like air getting in right now. One of them's eating the honey. This is so cool, one of them's actually eating the honey. And the other one, they're investigating pretty quick. This is awesome. Oh, the other one's gone back to the nest. He's literally gone back and been like, lads, there's honey here. Let's eat it. Bring it back to the queen. The queen's feeding the eggs. This is insane. Right, I am gonna have to cut this air open before they die. Okay, like some air is getting in there. Might not look like a lot, but... So now I gotta wait. All I gotta do is, there's the length of the nest. So this end is where there's water, cotton wool bud, space for nesting, where they put all their eggs and stuff, I'm gonna imagine. And then they can come out to feed in here, which is gonna act like the outworld. And then this test tube that they're currently in is the one I'll remove once they've left it, I guess. She's big. These ants are known as nurses, so they're quite small. When the colony gets bigger, which will take time, basically will be far bigger. There'll be minors, there'll be majors. They're polymorphic, so there's different sizes of ants, which is honestly one of the coolest things ever. But I can literally watch these guys all day. The thing is, it can take hours to relocate. I don't know how long it will take, but this is the start of their adventure. Not much else I can really show you, I guess, but for now, I'll go back to present me. And as you can see, when I did that, one of them was like, holy crap, what's going on? And he moved quick. They're quick ants if they need to be. So I kind of freaked out a bit, but then I got a little scalpel and basically just cut. Well, if you imagine these are the two tubes together, I just cut along the edge to let some air in. So yeah, and then we obviously had to get them to move in to the nest. And that is what's currently happening right now as I speak to you. They're sitting beside me to the left. They haven't moved yet. They've explored the new nest, but they haven't gone into it yet. and to encourage them to go into. As you can see, we currently have their new nest inside a sleeve of a hoodie to be dark, and I've also wrapped the end of that nest in tinfoil again to be darker and to keep them warm when they do move. And what I'm waiting at the moment to is I've got two batteries charging for a light, and I'm just going to blast that light onto where they're currently situated so that that'll basically piss them off and encourage them to move into the darker place, which is the new nest. And that's what the plan is. Now this can take, apparently, could take half an hour, it could take an hour, it could take 8 hours, it could take a day, but just be patient and wait, and eventually they will make that move, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm saying that in future tense, hoping that that does happen. Currently the queen's just protecting her eggs, and she's got 3 of the workers around her, and the other one is exploring the new nest again, which is great. Eventually he's going to come back and be like, Queen, we need to move. This guy's just had a meal, and now he's feeding the other, and he's just eating the honey, and he's like, here mate, have some honey, you need it more than me. They're talking anyway, and they're like, babe, why do we convince the queen to get into the new nest? And he's like, look, I know what to do. I'll turn around and tell this guy, because he's closer, and he can tell the queen. If he tells her, then he might get eaten, but I won't. As you can see, I've now got a light beaming onto the test tube to try and, I don't know, convince them to go into their nest, but as you can see, the queen is pretty much protecting her eggs. I'm hoping she doesn't eat them, which I've heard she does do if she's stressed. And there's 3 other workers around her. The 2 on the left are trying to kind of like protect her from the light almost. I'm like, just tell her to get into the nest. And then the other one is in the nest somewhere. I don't want to disturb it, so I'm just leaving him in there. That's where we're at the moment, waiting for them to make the move. As you saw before, there is a drop of honey on the way in, and I'm wondering, would it have been a smarter move to not feed them first, let them get across, and then once they're in, put some food in? And now I'm just kind of worried that she won't be able to get past. But I don't know, I can't really tell at the moment. Okay, so I actually shifted the nest a bit, and that dragged out one of the workers, who I think was pretty much lost. That encouraged him to come out, and he seems to have come out and been poked at these guys and been like, I've found a good spot. And now 2 of the other ones have gone in there, so I'm seriously hoping they go into and kind of be like, right, this is sweet. This is the first time 3 of them have gone into like the new setup, so I'm really hoping they are going to come out and be like, right, let's shift. There's a lot more movement now than there was before, so I'm seriously hoping this is the start of something. She is big and she is lazy. They must always have to leave one of them with the queen as well. I think she might be, I don't know if she's feeding the eggs or they are, or if they even get fed at this stage, I don't know. But there's a lot of movement at the moment, which is good. She's not alone with the eggs, which is interesting. Okay, this is big. The queen's turned around. She's getting fed. So for those who don't know, ants have 2 stomachs, one for themselves and one to like feed other ants. So like later down the line, certain ants will leave the nest to go get food and they'll bring it back to the ants who are working in the nest. This is the closest we've come so far. She has turned herself around and they're feeding her, so I'm really hoping this is what can give her some energy to like get a shift on. It's so cool. He's literally fucking feeding her. He's literally trying to drag her into the next tube, and she is having none of it. Queen Tafiki is not shifting. I want to avoid like disturbing them as much as possible right now because this is the closest I've got to her moving in. But this guy is literally trying to drag her by her right prong or whatever you want to call it. The brood we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've got like 8 eggs in the brood, which is great. I don't know if she literally is stuck and can't get out. This is where we've got to intervene, because I think she's literally trying to move into the new nest and she can't. Bingo, makeshift leveler. Now the thing's like more level, she should be able to go forward. Don't turn around. That kind of looked like that was why she wasn't going to be able to get out. Got another wee homie coming back to be like, come on, are you coming or not? She's really struggling to get like, he is literally tugging her in. This is insane. This is so cool. Ants can like lift 4 times their weight. Okay, I've just tipped the tube up a bit more. And she's crawled in. Oh shit. What? What are you doing? No, you were so close. No. Oh, well, there you have it. Baby steps, guys. Baby step. Made it to the honey plot and obviously was like, nah, screw this. I'm not getting past there. Okay, so they're pulling at her again. I think these guys are going to start shifting the eggs, potentially. Literally, she just got dragged in again. And I really hope she can get past the honey. Really hope that she doesn't come flying back out like she did last time. The next step for these little workers or nurses as they're known, is to grab the brood and the eggs and bring them into the new nest. And I'm really hoping that's what's about to happen. Don't try. This friggin' guy is nuts. I think he was the first one to explore the nest, and he's literally dragging people in. Like, he dragged the queen in. Go grab the eggs, look. There's our wee eggs. No sign yet. We'll return when I see them starting to move eggs. I just missed it. I literally just missed the little dude carry the eggs into the new nest. They've relocated. They're out of it. So the next step is going to actually be taking this tube off and stuffing a cotton bud inside it, which I'm kind of worried about, but what can you do? He needs to clear off from the old nest so I can get the cotton wool bud in. Oh, there's a second one coming out. What are you guys doing? This is not what I need right now. If I have the queen ant come back out here, I will be fuming, but I basically need to get this scalpel and go through the sellotape that I have on there. Once I have that, I will be shoving this cotton wool bud into the new tube. That's the plan, but these little friggers need to go back into the other nest. One's gone. Come on, keep her dip. The thing is, there's air here getting through, so he obviously senses that, like that scalpel's inside the tube. So this guy is cleaning himself and has been for the past 10 minutes, which is kind of getting on my nerves now. Oh, he shifted. I might just have to start cutting through it. It's only a wee bit nerve-wracking, you know, because the tube falls open. He gets out. I mean, that's what we don't want. The problem is, if he goes back and spreads word that there's a hole out here, then the whole friggin' gang's gonna come up, and, you know, I think it's hanging on by like a thread now. So the good news is, I have it open. The bad news is, I need to get the cotton wool bud in, but he needs to go to the other side, which he's not doing. He keeps going to about there. I did it. Oh my word. He's trying to get out. I just did it. I did it. I'm a freaking genius. Look at that old nest. There's all crap in it. I'm going to clear that out. And now we have a cotton wool bud stopping up, and the food's right at the end, which is great. I'm very happy with that. This is the first time I've used like the front-facing camera on this iPhone 12, and I am very happy with it. It is very clear. It's been 5 hours. It took 5 hours to get them to move over. I am very happy about it. I guess there you have it. There is me. I'll drop back to me in the chair. You can close out the video, but for now, I'm very happy with how that went. But I want to keep them in the dark for a while. Very exciting. They're coming out to like explore the new cotton wool bud. They're like, why is this thing here? Well, that's to stop you from getting out. Let's have a wee look. So here's the current setup. So it turns out they haven't actually fully gone in past the sellotape. I'm still happy with where they are. The water is down the other end, so hopefully, I'm assuming they can get down there. And I actually feel like the queen's walked through some honey to get past. It looks like the eggs might actually be stuck to her abdomen, and the other guys are in the nest past the sellotape. So I'm happy with that. That's our nest update. So yeah, I'm gonna pump them back in the sleep for a bit and let them chill out. So here we have it. They're in their new nest. They've got more room now. They've got the honey at the end. They'll probably build up another rubbish pile. Where they'll leave that, I don't know, but it'll be near enough the nest, I imagine. I'm now going to talk to you about looking after them here in Northern Ireland or in the UK. Things that I've sort of researched and found out. I'm just going to have to try it. I'm basically the dummy for you. And if it works for me, then you know, well, hey, this should work for you then too. Looking after them here. So these ants, Camponotus Ligniperda, they're called. Look them up. Apparently they're a good beginner ant to look after because they're very slow growing, which is great, and pretty easy to look after. They don't take too much maintenance, which is exactly what I want. I have ordered a proper nest from online. I'm looking forward to that coming, but that won't be here for a while because they only need to be in the test tube anyway. But yeah, looking after them here. They're not actually native to like Northern Ireland or the UK, but they're native to Europe. Places like France, maybe Spain. Camponotus type of ant is all across Europe anyway. Here, weather-wise, it's probably slightly cooler than what they're used to. It just means they're just going to grow slower, so they won't grow as quickly, unless what I'm also going to invest in is like a heat mat, and just put that underneath your nest, and obviously naturally that warms them up. When I read up about things, it basically said your ants can die if they're too hot, but they won't die if they're too cold. But it's harder to kill them if they're too cold, which is good for us here because it does get quite cold here at times. It's good to know that they'll just grow slowly, but they won't die because I don't want them to die. Queen lives for like 15 years apparently, and I'm not sure, I can't remember what the cycle of like a normal worker is, but maybe 3 or 4 months potentially. I'll have to look that up again, but obviously they constantly reproduce. So that's their climate. That is kind of how they're going to live here. They also hibernate. These ants hibernate from November to March, which is also good because it'll be less keeping for me to do in that period. It'll be a nice break to take away from them, and when I go back I'll be excited again. I'm like 6 months away from when they need to hibernate, so I will look closer into that. What's the best way to look after them when I get to that stage? But I know that you just need to put them in a cooler place, and that's just to kind of encourage them to slow down a bit. For now, I don't need to worry about that. These ants should be fine. There's loads of Camponotus type ants you can look into to try and get, but I've had these guys for 4 days, so I can't recommend like, yeah, go get them, but They seem pretty chill and they look like they're going the right way anyway, so I definitely recommend them. Apart from that, looking after them is not much different to anyone else looking after them somewhere else. It's just the temperature really. They kind of keep them out of direct sunlight, and they like their nest to be dark. When my nest arrives, I've actually ordered a box to go around it as well, and then they'll have tubes connected to their outworld, which is where I'll feed them. And they'll have their wee water feeder and stuff. So all that is to come down the line, but for now, I've just started. As time goes on, I can update you and do more things with them, but probably won't be another update for a good while because I don't think they're going to do much. All they're going to do is let the eggs grow. I'll maybe do a video on the best way to feed them, but again, that's no different to what other people already have. If you're from Northern Ireland or Ireland or the UK or anywhere like that and you've watched this video because you're keen to try it yourself, let me know down below because I'd be keen to find out if there are fellow ant keepers out there. But I've been really excited about it, and I'm really excited about it, and it'll be fun. Like, so if it's something that interests you, do it. Recommend it. Do your research beforehand because you don't want to be underprepared. But yeah, as I mentioned before, like the video if you're excited. I need to give the queen a name. I do have one in mind, but if you've got any in mind yourself, drop them in the comments and I might use it. But yeah, apart from that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, stay up to date. Subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Expert ant keeper James, right here. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.